Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to some creepy horror stories, or creepy pastas if you will. And as you can see, there's a ton. We're not going to go through all of them. We're just going to look at like 2 maybe, depending on how long they are. So this is 3 minutes long. Let's check this one out. You guys excited? I'm excited.
Introducing AdWallet, the app that actually pays you for your attention. When you
Creepy guy who stalked me through TikTok.
This happened pretty recent, about 3 weeks ago. Myself and 3 friends were hanging out at a shopping center one evening. We were messing around posting clips on TikTok. Then one of my friends started laughing. And I asked her what she was laughing at. She told me that guy behind us kept staring at me. When I turned around, it was some older guy just watching me. He had black sunglasses, a cap, an old Adidas tracksuit with scuffed up shoes, and had a disgusting looking beard.
Like getting his shoes.
My friends thought it was hilarious, but I found it really weird. Then another one of my friends said she thinks that guy lives on her street, about a few houses down from her. She said that he actually follows her on TikTok. At that point, I quickly got my phone out to check if he was following me, and he was. I had to block him because he seemed a bit creepy. We went to get McDonald's before we went home.
Oh my goodness.
And I received a message on TikTok from someone.
I swear, if that happened to me, you guys, I'd be so scared. I didn't know what to do. Obviously, I'd block him, but like, I would not know what to do.
It was that guy who had been following us. His name was Greg, and he wrote, "Why did you block me?" with 2 emojis. One was a crying face, and the other one was an angry face. He had actually created another account that day in the shopping center. I blocked that account as well, hoping that would be the end of it. I didn't mention it to my friends this time, knowing they would just laugh. That night, I was up late and had Netflix on in the background as I was chatting with my friends on Facebook while scrolling through TikTok. I got up to use the bathroom, and when I returned, I had 3 messages from my friends, all saying the same thing. All were things like, "Who's in your room?" and "What's up with your last post?" I asked them what they were talking about, and they told me to check my TikTok, so I did. It was a clip of my bedroom. It was a clip of someone picking up my phone and recording the inside of my room. At that point, I heard a creaking. Then I heard a man's voice say, "Sorry. Please don't scream." And turned to see my closet door slightly open. I started to scream when the same guy who had been following us burst out of my closet and tried to cover my mouth. Thank God I screamed and it was enough for my parents to hear. They came upstairs and my dad tackled the guy to the floor. The police were called and he was arrested. We were informed that the guy had straight up admitted to stalking and breaking and entering. One of my friends pointed out, if I go back and look at the post on TikTok from when we were in the shopping center, you can see Greg is in almost all of those pictures, somewhere in the background.
She's dressed up.
I haven't heard what's going to happen to Greg yet, but
my goodness.
I just hope he won't ever come near us again.
He's still there. Wow, guys. That was some creepy stuff right there. True horrible camp story. Ooh, camp story. Look, Camp Crystal Lake. Dead bodies. almost pucked,
I am a girl.
almost puked when I discovered something.
I am a girl, and I had the most horrible experience when I was 16.
Wait, isn't that the same girl?
Well, there was a park that I loved to go to and hang out at with my friends. But one day, a girl around 14 or 15 years old came near me and asked me if I wanted to come with her and some other girls. Usually, I would have said yes, but there was something about this girl that just didn't feel right. So I said no. A month after that, there was some news about missing girls. The town where I lived in was sort of small, so it was a serious issue for a while. One day, while hanging with my friends, I saw that creepy girl again, and she was playing with little girls. I'm talking like 4 or 5-year-old girls. I was confused. Why would a 14-year-old be playing with them? Later, when I checked again, all the little girls had gone somewhere, including the creepy girl. I saw the little girl's parents looking for them. Then, I saw the creepy girl walking away, so me and my friends decided to follow her. We arrived and saw the girl getting into a black van, so I took photos and called the police. The next day, the police said the car belonged to a man who lived in a boat nearby. Me and my friends decided to go to the docks, and after searching like detectives, we saw the van parked in front of a big yacht. The dock in our village was a pretty calm place where only a few people came by.
Woo.
After checking if someone was there, we went into the yacht. The moment we got in, we noticed a disgusting smell coming from the bottom part of the boat.
Trespassing.
We went down, fearing that we would find dead bodies or something like that. But anyway, we found the area and we started searching. Until I heard my friend Jessica scream. She pointed to a container with her trembling finger. We looked down and found the most horrible and disgusting scene in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Inside the container, there were human parts, eyes, and organs. I almost puked and felt like I wanted to faint. And in that moment, we feared that this was where the girls who were missing last month had gone. I checked outside, nervous, but fortunately, there weren't people around us. So we got the hell out of there as fast as we could and called the police immediately. 1 week later, we found out the little girls that we saw in the park were actually kidnapped and murdered in the boat basement. The one responsible for this action was punished with a death sentence. Until today, the memory of the image in my head of the container makes me feel like I want to puke. And me and my friends learned to never try to play like detectives again and to mind our own business.
I mean... Star Wars. Respectfully, I get that. You shouldn't just play with detectives and, yeah, you might find something you don't want to find. But, I mean, you did the right thing, then again. You caught the people. Oh, guys, my sister again. We're just reacting to some scary stories. My room's done. See you later. Okay, bye. Alright, guys, how about someone tried to kidnapping. Kidnapping is so horrifying. Someone tried to kidnap me when I went canoeing.
It happened about 6 months ago. I was in a scouting group, and at the end of the semester with the last group meeting, we always did something special.
Yeah.
But this time was a little different. Instead of going indoor climbing, our scout leaders decided to go canoeing.
Yeesh.
I was really excited about it because I'd never canoed before. As always with every trip, we should have to be an hour earlier as we were riding our bikes to the destination. I noticed something. It was a creepy-looking old man staring at us, with an almost psychopathic-like grin on his face. His clothes looked old and dirty. Looking old man staring at us, with an almost psychopathic-like grin.
Guys, I'm making you put that in your memories. Look at that disgusting thing. Oh my god, imagine if you saw that on your bike.
On his face.
Whew.
His clothes looked old and dirty. But I shook it off, thinking that even if the guy was some kind of creep, it still wouldn't matter because we were with a group. As we arrived at our destination, the guy from the canoe company told us how to row and that we had to choose our buddy to canoe with. I chose my friend Noah that we've been friends since elementary.
Ooh,
We got to go first, and it was sort of a race, so we were happy to go first. But within 10 minutes, we got passed by my little brother and his friend. It went pretty normal after that. We saw this guy in the middle of the stream in a boat, just fishing and sipping a beer. 10 minutes after, I saw the same guy I saw on the way here. He was just standing on the ground next to the stream with that same... 10 minutes after, I saw the...
Hold on a second. Hold on.
We got to go first, and it was sort of a race, so we were happy to go first. But within 10 minutes, we got passed by my little brother and his friend. It went pretty normal after that. We saw this guy in the middle of the stream in a boat, just fishing and sipping a beer.
See?
10 minutes after, I saw the same guy I saw on the way here.
Well, of course
He was
not.
just standing on the ground next to the stream with that same awful grin on his face. I thought of it as being a cliche, as this always happens in the movies. Noah also said, it's probably just a coincidence. He said this place is a popular camping place, especially at this time of the year. To be honest, he wasn't that scary that time. He might just be an old crazy man trying to scare some of the kids. So I just canoed on, and half an hour later, we were at the end. I got wet, so I grabbed a towel, and we went back to the meeting place. After that, I was going home alone, riding my bike. And I saw that same old guy in a car with another man who was sitting back seat. And they started slowing down. And the man asked me, "Hey kid, looks like you need a ride." The man behind the wheel said nothing, and I tried to say it as polite as possible. "Oh, no, thanks. I'm almost home anyway." As I looked at the man again, and I noticed fury and madness in his eyes, which I didn't know why. I just got scared, so I pedaled my bike out of fear of being kidnapped.
Fast,
But
fast,
the car
fast.
started chasing me, and they blocked the road. It was around 9 p.m. in a suburban neighborhood. Nobody was out on the street. As that guy opened the door, he jumped out and pushed me aside from my bike. I saw him with a gun in his hand. Then he finally knocked me out unconscious. I don't remember how many hours passed. However, I could hear the sirens dimly. 2 police officers saw this car was speeding, so they were chasing him. I also heard gunshots, which made me so scared. And then they shouted, "Shots fired! Shots fired!" 2 minutes later, the gunshots stopped, and the trunk where I was opened. It was a police officer. He took me out and told me, "It's safe now. Don't worry." Later, an ambulance arrived soon, so I could go to the hospital and met my parents there. Now 6 months passed, but I still think about what if the police officers didn't see them and they took me to the place where they were heading.
Yeah, man. I just wonder about those kind of things. Alright, guys, we're gonna watch one more, and then that's gonna be the end. Oh, not more. I went in the wrong ride and almost got killed. So a lot of them.
This is not about my story, but someone from my church, and he wanted to share his experience with anyone else. He's a 32-year-old man, and his pseudonym is Mark. He's a fairly big guy, and this situation took place when he was on his way home from work. He said that he had lost his phone 1 week before this whole situation happened, so he couldn't call and get any help during this story. It was quite late, around 11 p.m. He had finished work and was walking to a taxi stop location, and when he got there, a few people were standing around waiting as well. After about 2 minutes, he noticed that there was a minivan approaching. Usually, minivans are cheaper than taxis, and he felt tired that day, so he decided to take the minivan. He sat on a seat, and there was a young boy seated in the passenger side next to the driver, who was collecting the fare. And then, 2 other boys who looked like teenagers also boarded the minivan and sat in the seats in front of him. Once the minivan took off, after about 5 minutes, the boy asked if they would like to drink some Coke. The boys accepted and started drinking. And they also gave it to Mark. Mark was also feeling thirsty, so he took it, but only a sip. Not much later, he started feeling drowsy. Just before he about laid his head on the seat beside him, he noticed that those 2 boys were already knocked out. After he laid his head down, he heard noises coming from the back seats. 2 people were talking in a different language. The car was passing a big signboard that showed Crest Chicken Farm. And then he finally passed out. When he got up, he found himself inside a big shed-like barn, and there were some tools on a big table. He was on the floor, and the other 2 teenage boys were laying next to him.
Oh, crap.
He still felt a bit drowsy, but he managed to get himself up as he was
You see, this is the thing. Why would you go in a minivan? That you didn't just call a taxi. Okay, just call a taxi, right, people?
looking for an escape. He saw that the 2 boys were still passed out, so he tried waking them, but they wouldn't budge. As Mark was kind of a big man, he tried to see if he could carry one of them, but it was hard to do because even Mark was having a hard time to stand properly. And then he heard voices. He took a peek from the door, and 3 people were walking toward the big shed, coming from a house on the hill, which was quite close to the shed. Mark panicked and tried to look for another exit. He was looking around the place, and he found one at the end of the shed, luckily. He approached quietly and escaped as fast as he could. At this point, his vision was all blurry, but he managed to find a fence door and unlocked it. He heard the people shouting, but he ignored. He just kept on running. When he finally reached his house, it was early morning, around 5 a.m.
What?
His wife was up all night waiting for him and ran out the front door as soon as she saw him. He collapsed and slept for almost the whole day. When he woke up and finally got a chance to explain to his wife what had transpired that night, he remembered about the other 2 boys who were still there. Then he contacted the police immediately. He told the police about the road signs and a big billboard for Crest Chicken Farm and other things that he could remember. About 2 weeks after, there was a police report about how they found 2 teenage boys' bodies in a lake and advised that when they examined the bodies, all their organs were missing. Mark just stood in fear. And as the event was too traumatic for him, Mark had to quit a job for a while.
That's crazy, you guys. That is so crazy. You know, it's that kind of thing where it's like, why would you get in a minivan? First of all, I don't. Who cares? As long as you're safe, right? But that's all for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Wow, these people were so dumb. Why would they do this kind of thing? I don't understand why anybody would do this. Okay, well, 5 likes and I'll do an episode 2, Scary Stories. Spacedog reacts. But, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Hit that little bell so you don't miss another video that I upload. And, comment down below what you thought of the video. And, yeah, I will see you in the next one.